Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I'm Jenna Ross with Spiritually Savage Mindset Strategy Coaching. Today I'm a little out of sorts. I've had a lot of clients already today because between the portal and the full moon, there are a lot of you having some life changes. And there are a lot of relationships that are exiting your lives. And I'd like to tell you that I'm sorry for you, but I'm not. I'm so happy for you because you're making room and making space for such great things. So while I know you're sad and you're still reacclimating and trying to find things desperately to stick in those empty spaces, remember that the universe hates empty space and that it's going to bring you new and better things that you aren't settling for. So, I want to thank you for watching these and for subscribing and for listening and taking the advice. I know it's been a little rough on you with the throat chakra clearing. Spirit is really loud right now. And it's tired of a lot of people's bullshit. So you're being pushed and you're being forced. And there are a lot of messages coming forth and being channeled loud and clear for me. So I have a shit ton of notes. And so if you see me looking down, it's because I wrote while I was channeling, and I don't want to leave out any pieces that I may not remember as I go along. If you're a channeler and you understand that sometimes when you come out of it, you don't remember anything you've said. But I want to make sure that the messages that need to come through come through. And I want to thank you for all the people scheduling readings, scheduling coaching, and doing discovery calls for coaching. I'm so grateful for you all. Thank you for sharing. Our next stop, obviously on the subscriber goal for me is 222. We've already bypassed 111, so let's shoot for 222. And we'll do something fun on the channel the day that it happens. So let's keep going until we hit 1111. All right, that's going to be my goal for right now. But thank you again for subscribing and sharing and being part of this and for giving your feedback. And I appreciate your growth and your willingness to hear and your willingness to look inside and to not bypass the work. All right. So thank you for that. It's so appreciated. So please, if you haven't and you're watching these videos, please subscribe. It would mean everything. So thank you. So I want to talk because I had a conversation with somebody the other day who kept bypassing, which is exactly why I did the video today on that got posted today on bypassing, spiritual bypassing. And when I had this talk and they felt like I was pointing out some things that they should look inwardly about, they immediately defaulted to I accept you for who you are. Can you accept me for who I am? Now, we were in the middle of a conversation. There was no altercation. We were not arguing, and we have a client. We have a client relationship. So it was very interesting that they defaulted that, and I understood that that was their way to deflect and kind of push the issue that if you continue to give me things to look into, then you're imposing your beliefs on me. And that means we can't be friends. And that's the way it came across. And I feel like that was a manipulation tactic. When you start to do that, that's a manipulation tactic. Okay. When you start to go, oh, if you don't accept me for who I am, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I want to talk to you about the difference between allowing someone to be who they are and accepting someone for who they are, because it's very different things. Okay. Acceptance of someone as being who they are is fixed. All right. I'm a coach and I give people space to be who they are right now, but I expect them to evolve, to grow, to change, to heal, because we as humans are supposed to do that. Accepting them as they are puts them in a box and says, this is who that person is, and they must stay that way because that keeps me comfortable. Okay? I like who they are. It doesn't change our dynamic. Or I have given up on them and I just accept them for who they are. Okay? So, a lot of people who are in relationships who are unhappy with people, they go, I just accept them for who they are. I just accept that's who they are, and I go about my day. It's very different than giving people space to be who they are and allowing them to evolve and grow and change. That is where we're supposed to be in all relationships, family relationships, child-parent relationships, friend relationships. You always need to give people permission and space to change and grow. We're supposed to nurture that. Okay, in all relationships, we're supposed to nurture growth. We're supposed to nurture accountability. We're supposed to nurture each other and also accept that from other people. So when we just accept people for who they are, that's part of settling. We have settled and said we're giving up because we can't change them. Okay? And it's just an acknowledgement that they won't change. It doesn't allow for change at all. We are not meant to accept people. We are meant to receive people. Okay? When you accept a gift, you accept the gift whether you want it or not. Haven't you ever been at Christmas and somebody gave you a gift and you accepted it, but you were like, this is going in the regifting pile. This is going into, the Goodwill bin. This is going to, someone else or the trash. You accept it whether you want it or not. We are not meant to do that. We are meant to receive, okay? And receiving means you intake it, you cherish it, you use it, you build on it. It becomes part of who you are. Have you ever received a gift that you really wanted? And you go, and you post pictures of it on Facebook and you've been talking about it forever. I got this Instapot. It's become vital in my house. For me, it's my Keurig. It becomes vital. Somebody gave me this gift and I received it and made it part of me and cherished it and grew from it and just, it flourished. That is the way we are supposed to have relationships. Romantic relationships, child-parent relationships, co-worker relationships, the relationships that you allow into your life, you need to receive them. And they need to be mutually beneficial in growth. If they are not giving to you something insightful to help you grow or encouraging you to grow and better yourself, then they are taking from you. Okay? Because if they're accepting you the way you are, then they need you to be that way because it fulfills a need in them. And most often it's because they're manipulating you, using you, or they need you so that they can have company because misery loves company. The other thing is also, so if they have somebody that stifles their own growth, and them not encouraging them not to grow will keep them from growing, they don't have to look into themselves. If you look into yourself and you're constantly growing and you're encouraging others by telling them what you're finding out about yourself and encouraging them to look inward, then that agitates people who are afraid to look inward. It agitates people who need growth and who need change. All right? So allowing somebody to be who they are right now is an amazing ability. All right, I allow you this. I don't judge you for who you are at all because that nurtures growth. All right, when I get a seed from Home Depot, I don't expect it to be a plant tomorrow. I put it in the ground. I, nurture it. I cover it up. I water it every day. I give it input. I give it plant food, whatever it needs. I might move it, give it more sunlight, give it more shade, depending on what I found that it needs. And then I nurture it. And as it grows, I allow it to grow and change. I don't come out one morning and there's flowers and I'm like, what the fuck is this? You were a seed 3 months ago and now look at this. This is bullshit. No, I allow it to be what it is. All right? You can't expect somebody to stay the same forever. If you're looking at your relationship and thinking how great it was before, but now it's garbage, you can't. You have to hope it's not like that forever. Because if it is, either one or both of you is not growing. All right. And that is not a successful relationship. A relationship grows. It changes. It metamorphosized into something else. Allowing someone to be who they are is beautiful, but it entails challenging them to grow, holding them accountable. Change is not demanded, but understood as a part of life in all things and should be required in a relationship. It should be the most important thing in a relationship, because if your relationship is not growing and changing, it's stagnant and it's dead. When you have a child, you expect it to grow. You don't get a baby at the hospital. You give birth, you get the baby, you come home. You don't expect it to stay that way. You don't wait 5 years and still expect this to be a baby. You expect that this child is going to grow and change and learn things and learn how to have its own perspective. And you nurture that. You get so excited. You're like, yay, it's first words. Yay, it's eating solid foods. Yay, it's, sleeping through the night. Yay, now it can have a conversation with me. Yay, it got an award at school. We expect them to change. We expect them to grow, and we expect to see the outcome. We expect to see the growth in a real way. Why do we not expect that of other people and other relationships in our lives? Why do we limit that only to children? At what age should you just stop expecting growth? At what age should you expect that people just are what they are and they shouldn't be any different? They should not excel in any way. It's ridiculous, because we should grow and change until we take our last breath. We should be growing, changing, learning things, learning new perspectives. Everything in your life should be a reflection of your growth. Your relationships, your finances, your jobs, your romantic partnerships, your parenting skills, everything. How good your finances are. If one thing in your life is balanced and you're pushing forward, everything in your life should be pushing forward. Everything. Your hang-ups, your strongholds, your excuses, all of that should reflect where you are in your spiritual journey. As you're growing and changing, you should be able to tackle those things better. You should be able to address them. You should not push them down. You should not bypass them. You should be working on these things constantly. But we still say, well, that's just how people are. We just have to accept them for who they are. No, we don't. You do not have to accept anybody is just the way they are. That is not your fault. If they want to be stagnant, then it is your job to remove them from your life, or to not allow them to be part of your life as big a part as you have been. Here's the reason why. When you are pushing your wagon uphill, you don't want people sitting in it. You definitely don't want people tripping you. You don't want people putting rocks in your way. And these people who are happy with who they are and just in acceptance of their bad habits, their trauma, their hang-ups, their shitty relationships, their shitty financial situations, all of this, when they're just fine settling, they are not going to be fine with you growing, because it means you leave them behind. It also means that it agitates them to make them want to grow. And they don't want that. They don't like that uncomfortability. So what they do is they try to convince you that you're on the wrong path. And that makes your journey more difficult. Okay? You just bypass them. Keep growing past them. You won't even hear them. You'll get so far ahead of them, you won't even be able to hear them. Tell the whole truth. Nothing but the truth. Transparency. Intimacy. Those are the things that should be growing always. If you feel like you have to hide something from your family, from your friends, that is you accepting them for who they are and saying that you know they won't accept you for who you are. So why are you not as important as they are? Why is it that always you have to accept people for who they are? Why can they not give you space to grow and change? Do you see what I'm saying? Stop putting yourself on the back burner and making everybody else comfortable. We are supposed to give people space, not just give in and give up on them. Some people have already given up on themselves. We can encourage, we can nurture them, but if they aren't accepting, there is a point where you just have to step back and let them fail. I saw a post today that said something about how do you deal with people who are not awake when you are awakened. The thing is this. You are awakened. They are not. They are exactly where they're meant to be on their journey, and you are exactly where you're meant to be on your journey. They may not be supposed to be awakened in this lifetime. Their soul might have not contracted to that, and you don't get a say in that. It doesn't matter who they are. You need to stop attaching to who awakens and who doesn't. The soul has already agreed to that, and they are here doing the work they are meant to do. And you are here doing the work that you are meant to do. So stifling your work is not helping them. It's actually hurting you. And sometimes it doesn't make a difference for them at all. The thing is this. When you try to desperately wake them up, or share your information and what you know with them, and they're in resistance, it does not come across as your desire to help them. It comes across as you being desperate to have somebody that believes you or to validate you. It sounds more like you're trying to convince them because you're not convinced yourself. When you just let them be and you just follow your own path, they can become inspired to heal themselves. But when you are trying to convince them or trying to wake them up, it comes across as desperation and not desire. And you can never manifest from desperation. Nothing good comes from that. Nothing good comes from the vibration of desperation. So you have to detach yourself from who awakens when, how, and why. It's not your business to determine how that looks or if they awaken in this life. That's their souls. Okay? Your soul has made a decision, so take this, them not being awakened and how to react to that, as one of your lessons that you need to learn, and stop deflecting it and bypassing on your own journey and acting like this is their lesson that they need to learn and they need to wake up because they're inhibiting your path. You're inhibiting your path by making what they think or what they do a much bigger deal than it needs to be. If people are an obstacle in your life, if they're legitimately causing an obstacle, then that is the universe telling you it is time to find a solution and a way around them. And sometimes that means detaching and leaving physically. And a lot of people tell me when I talk in coaching, they go, but I can't, they're family and blood is thicker than water. And I'm going to tell you something you might not like. And it's truth. Souls don't have blood. The people who are your family in this life are not the people who are your family in the next life, or the next life, or the next life, or the previous life. We have different souls that contract to different areas in our life. They are not the same people every time. Your soul does not adhere to physical body, family, biological, if you will, because souls don't have family like that. We have soul connections. Okay? And just because you had a soul connection with somebody in a previous life doesn't mean you have that same soul connection here in this life. All right? So what we view as family in this life doesn't matter to your soul. Your soul is on a soul mission. And the mission is what matters. We need to learn to look at other people's circus and say, not my monkeys, not my circus. They need to tame those monkeys themselves. They need to contain those monkeys themselves. Laugh at it, or shake your head at it, or cry at it, and just walk by. Because our lessons are for us. We need not to make decisions on what other people's lessons are when we won't even make the best decision for ourselves. All right? You need to give people the space to be who they are right now without judgment. We need to nurture growth, but we need not to accept who anybody is so that they have no wiggle room where they can grow and change. We also need to not let people be complacent and not change when they have bad habits that affect our lives and their lives. We need not to tolerate that. And if we have to, in the situation we're in, then we need to remove ourselves or them from the situation. Okay? It's a difficult lesson sometimes, but it will be the best lesson to learn that will give you the opportunity to choose you. You're so worried about other people choosing you. You know when other people start to choose you? When you choose you. Because you show them how you want to be treated by the way you treat you. So when you start choosing you, other people will start choosing you too. Okay? See you tomorrow. Thank you for choosing me today.